Hi, welcome to Chair Yoga. I'm Susan. Let's start in our seated resting position. And that can be sitting at mid-chair or coming all the way back in the chair and leaning back a little. Your choice. But close your eyes and begin breathing deeply. In through the nose and out through the nose if possible, or in through the nose and out through the mouth if you need to. Relaxing the shoulders back and down. Letting the hands rest lightly on the tops of the thighs, palms down. Let your hands be light. With each inhale of breath, take in oxygen that's going to fuel our practice today, both in mind and in body. With each exhale, let go of a little bit of the stress you've carried to this place. Just let the outside world slip away as you breathe. A few more breaths. Last one. And with the next breath, let the chin slowly fall down toward the chest, feeling that pull in the back of the neck, stretching out those neck muscles, top of the back muscles. Continue breathing. And then with the next breath, slowly lift the face back up, coming to center and opening the eyes and taking your face upward toward the sky. Gently pulling those muscles in the top of the chest, in the front of the neck. As you breathe, enjoy this stretch and then slowly bring the face back down to center. Once there, let's take our face to the side as if to look over that shoulder. Feeling that neck twist just a little. Go gently. Breathe good breaths. And then let's bring the face back again through center, slowly taking it toward the other side as if to look over the other shoulder. Noticing that one side can be looser, stiffer than the other. It happens. Then let's bring our face back once again to center. Let's drop our arms down, take them way out to the side and up to the top, putting the hands together. Let's draw them into heart center. Again, down, out, up to the top and in. A few more times to get us a good stretch of the upper body. Make sure we're breathing. Usually it's an inhale on the way up and then exhaling on the way down. But don't worry too much about when your inhales and exhales occur. Just let it be natural. But don't hold the breath. It is a temptation sometimes. Down and up and in. Let's do one more. Down, up to the top, and into the center. Bringing the hands back to rest at the top of the thigh. Now let's shrug those shoulders up with an inhale and drop the shoulders down with an exhale again. Shrug up as high as you can. Lower down with the exhale. A few of these. A flow of these movements to loosen our shoulders and lessen some tension. Loosening up the shoulders for future work. So up and down. Let's do one more set. Let's come up and then down. Okay. Let's take our hands up like this, just like we're saying stop. But let's spread our fingers into what we call our jazz hands. Holding the hands here Let's spread those fingers and feel the tension build. As we breathe, let's bring the hands around into a claw. So this is like the claw of a bird. We can turn as we do this and get a little wrist warm up into the mix. We can go back to jazz hands, turning in and out, breathing in and out, and then make fists with our hands, turning and back, turning and back. I like to keep my thumb on the outside for this fist. It just seems a little more natural to me. And you want to squeeze enough to feel it, but not enough to cause pain. So let's go back to our claw, and we can take our claw this way. Moving the arms lightly, the wrists a little bit. And then let's finish up with the jazz hand. Let's take them out and in, out and in. A few more, and then out and in. One more time, and in. Bringing the hands back to rest at the top of the thigh. Let's go into our lateral stretch, dropping this arm, taking it out, palm up, bringing it up to the top, looking up, stretching up. As you breathe, lifting a little bit higher with each breath. Stay here if you choose, or bring that arm over the body, feeling that pull in those oblique muscles along the side here. But make sure you're keeping your hip grounded on the chair to maximize that pull. If you go a little too far, feel free to back out. You can always stay with your arm just straight up. But let's take one more breath. And then let's come back up to the top. Let's turn out the palm and let's float that arm down with control, using the muscles to their maximum, bringing the hand back into rest at the top of the thigh. Both arms down, sweep out, sweep up, come into center. Let's go to the other side for that lateral stretch. So down, out, up, follow it with your gaze. Follow those fingertips. Push up, lift up, breathe. Stay here, again if you choose, or over the body with that arm. Enjoying the stretch. Coming back to the top. Let's turn the palm out and let's float down the arm once again, bringing it into rest at the top of thigh. Both arms can come down, come out, come up, not putting them together this time. We're going to hold our arms up, lifting for the sky with the entire torso. Breathing, looking up if you can, looking out if you need to. Either way is fine. You may stay here and lift a little more with each breath, or take your arms out a little wider. Arch your back toward the back of the chair. Now, if this slight back bend is a little more than you want in your practice today, you can always come back up to vertical with your spine. But breathe wherever you are. Good deep breath. We hold poses, but we do not hold our breath. Gotta have it. With the next breath, come back up to vertical, and let's turn out the palms and float down the arms, coming into rest at the top of the thighs. Now, we've warmed up our upper body pretty well. Let's come out to the front of our chair and work on that lower body a little. So, let's take one ankle out. You can't see my foot. Now you can see my foot. But let's rotate at the ankle. You know what I'm doing. I'm drawing circles with that ankle bone, with that foot, with the toe of the foot, and thereby rotating the ankle. Then come back the other way. Breathing. Good breaths. Loosening up those joints and getting the blood circulating down there. Let's bring that foot back down to the floor and go to the other side. So foot out and rotate. So we're rotating the ankle this way. Either way is fine. You're just going to reverse it in a moment. Let's go back the other way. And then let's put that foot back down to the top, or to match with the other. Now let's lift our heels up off the floor. We're up on our toes, both of them, sitting up nice and tall. Let's lower the heels down and lift the toes up. It's a smaller movement and lifting up off the floor, but it pulls different muscles. Take the toes down and lift the heels again. Heels down and toes up. And toes down and heels up. We'll finish there with a breath or two. And then put the feet down flat. Going into alternate kicks. I'm going to start with this leg. So we're going to kick out with a flexed foot and then down. So out and down. Not too fast. It's a slow movement. Using the legs in a deliberate way. Feeling these muscles here work as we lift and we lower. We lift and we lower. Let's do two more. So lift and lower. Last time, lift and lower. You might feel a little bit of that. That's working. Okay, go to the other side. Out and down. Up with a flexed foot and down. Up and down. A few more. And down. Up and down. Let's do two more. Up and down. And up and down. Okay, let's come up to the edge of the chair. Let's fall into our butterfly. So my seat bones are at the edge of the chair. My hip flexors, which are right in here, are opening out, and my knees fall out to the side. My feet, which are down below, if my hands were my feet and my palms were my soles of my feet, we'd be trying to put them together in this manner. But they may not do that yet. You may not have enough flexibility there. So your feet may go together more like this or like this. But do the best you can. Be comfortable in it. Over time, your ankles will loosen and you'll get further with that butterfly. Lay your hands at mid-thigh. Sit up nice and tall. Take a breath. And then let your chin fall down toward the chest. And breathe here in this nice restorative pose. Our butterfly. Couple of breaths. One more. And then let's lift our face back up to center. Let's take one foot to the floor. Let's follow it with the other. Now let's step out wide and let's get up slowly. And let's come around to the back of the chair. I'm going to move the chair up just a little bit for room to do my downward dog. Hands are going to go on the chair. Legs are going to step back. Arms are going to straighten. Feet are parallel, hinging from the hips. Let's lower that torso down as we push our weight back, back, back. Ears line up between the elbows. Make sure those knees have a tiny bend in them. We want to protect those knee joints. So breathe. Enjoy the stretch that you feel likely in your lower back, in your hips, shoulders, arms. Good breathing. One more. And then let's do a deep knee bend and a straighten. And let's try another deep knee bend and a straighten. One last knee bend and straightening. So let's step up to the back of the chair. Then we're going to step over slightly to the side for a tree pose. So I'm going to come out just a bit. One hand's on the chair, and this leg here is going to come out and into the ankle. So my toe is pointing down right up against the ankle. I'm standing up nice and tall. I'm going to take one arm out to the side. I'm going to look off in the distance, and you are too, and find that focal point, something you can focus your gaze upon. Then lift that arm up to the top, and with the next breath, grow taller, stretching out those vertebrae and giving them some space. You can stay right here. This is a good beginning tree pose. This can always be your tree pose if you like. You can also take that other arm out to the side You can stay down low if you needed to. In fact, both could go low if you needed them there. Out a little bit from the body as a balancing weight. Or you can take them up to the top, have them apart from one another, eyes on that focal point, really aids the balance. So keep that focal point or drishti in your gaze. You can stay here, or you can lift that foot that's at the ankle up to the calf. You can put your hands together at the top. So these are all variations that you can try at some point if you like, as you build the strength and as you get back your balance. Now, every now and then you'll fall out like I just did, so it's a common occurrence. Come right back in wherever you can, maybe at a lower level. One more breath. And then one arm can come down, followed by the other. We find the back of the chair, and then we step back once again for downward dog. A little rest. Back behind the chair, parallel feet, pushing the weight back. Make sure the weight of your body is centered over the knees, the ankles, and the feet. No need for the head to go any lower than ears between the elbows, but enjoy that stretch and breathe. One more. And then let's try a deep knee bend, and let's straighten, and let's step back up to the chair back. Coming upright. And we're going to go to the other side for our tree pose on that side. So, hand on the chair, foot out to the side and in to the ankle. Switch hands and take that opposite arm out. Find the drishti, the focal point once again. Look off in the distance with your gaze and lift. Once you're at the top, grow taller. Expand the body upward. Staying here again if you choose. Or bringing that other hand out, bringing it up. Lifting the body as you breathe. Putting the hands together or keeping them apart, your choice. Bringing the foot up to the calf is a choice. One more breath. And then one arm comes down, followed by the other. We find the chair. We step back. Downward dog once again. Parallel feet and hinging from the hips. Keeping those arms nice and stretched out. Pushing that posterior way back. Feeling free to adjust your feet forward or back to get the right distance from the chair. That distance varies for all of us. It's not the same for everyone. So find it and enjoy it. Breathe a couple of more breaths. Last one. And then let's do a deep knee bend and a straighten. And let's step up again, coming back up to the chair. Now once we're here, step around. One of the hands can be on the chair, but step around and have a seat at about mid-chair. So let's line ourselves up with our ankles underneath our knees, our shoulders back and down. Good deep breath. Let's go into our cat and cow stretches. So let's start with our cow and lift our face upward, arching our back slightly toward the back of the chair as we breathe, then coming back through a neutral spine, pulling in the core and doing the opposite. So we're crouching forward like a scared cat. And then again, coming back through neutral spine, straightening up and lifting the face and pushing the chest out again with that little back bend. This is the cow. We're going to do a sequence or a flow of these two movements slowly. You may follow me or follow your own breath. Just make sure you're not so concentrated on getting the pose exactly right that you hold your breath. It can be easy to do, but go at your own pace and try to fully realize each pose. Pushing everything out in the cat as you look up. and pulling everything in the cat. Maybe I said cat last time, but cow is when we're up, and then cat is when we're down, and we know that. Let's do a couple more. Cat is curled and cow is stretched. So, whichever pose you're going into now, finish it. So it could be cat, it could be cow. But then slowly return yourself to an upright spine, shoulders back and down, eyes open, and take a good deep breath. In and out. Let's take our arms down and come out, come up, come in, again, down, out, and up, and in, and then our third time, down. Let's sweep out, come to the top, and come to the center, and take the arms to the front, extending them out, taking the hands apart, putting the backs together, and then sweeping the arms out, back, and down, pushing the hands in toward the chair. If you'd like to scoot up a little bit, it makes you feel more comfortable, do that. But your hands are engaged. They can either be bladed like this or jazzed like this, but they're tense, and you're pushing them toward one another, pushing the shoulder blades together, and breathing. And tension's building in the arms. We're using those arm muscles and the shoulder muscles. One more breath. And then let's let the arms come down, shake out the hands. And let's bring them back to the top of the legs and roll the shoulders back a few times. And roll the shoulders forward a few times. And then let's settle. Arms come down and out and up. And it's time for our warrior. So hands to the legs, let's step out. Let's arrange one leg on the chair and one leg off. So my back leg is across the chair. My front leg makes a 90-degree angle. Now you can't see my knee, but my knee is making that 90-degree angle with the top of the toe on the floor. My right arm, or my arm that's closest to the screen, I should say, is right next to my thigh. My back arm is on the chair. With the next breath, lift the arm out with palm up and follow it with your gaze as it lifts for the sky. Then stretch the body upward as you breathe. This is a good warrior. Breathing, lifting, looking up if you can, or out over the front if you need to. Stay here if you like, but an extension can be to take the toe of your foot and push it back, adjust your hip a little, push that leg back behind you, straightening it behind you, and then lifting a little higher with the arm so that now your whole side body is stretched from fingertip to toe. Stay here if you like and breathe, continuing to stretch. Or arch the back and take the arm back over the head. Now if this is too much, feel free to come back to the top or float the arm down. We never want pain, so return to a position that was comfortable if this one is not. And breathe, of course. One more breath. And then let's bring that arm back to vertical. Let's turn the palm out and let's float that arm down slowly. Let's draw that leg in as slowly. The two will meet, hand to leg, and then let's scoot back in the chair a little for a more stable seat. Let's bring our hands to heart center in that prayer position. Sitting up nice and tall and looking out over the side of the chair. Let's lift the body and twist toward the back of the chair. A good spinal twist. Breathing. One more. And then with the next breath, let's bring our body back to sideways facing. Let's take our hands down to the tops of the thighs. Let's step one leg to the front and come along with the back leg until we're forward facing again. And then let's drop our arms down and come out and come up to the top and come into the center. It's time to go to the warrior on the other side. So this leg steps out and this leg goes back. So you have one hip across the chair and one leg down in front. 90-degree angle of the knee. Top of the toe is on the floor. Front hand hangs at the side of the leg. Looking out over the side of the chair, take a nice breath. And then let's raise that arm out, following the palm up, following the palm with our gaze, fingertips, lifting overhead, stretching up, looking up, remembering to stretch higher with each breath toward the sky. Staying here is a choice, or pushing that toe back, straightening that leg, and then lifting a little higher, back up toward the sky is another variation. Breathe here, feeling that increased stretch in the side body. If you want that last little bit, arch the back and take the arm back over the head. Breathe. One more. And then let's bring that arm back to the top. Let's turn the palm back out. Let's float the arm down. Try to do it slowly. Bring the leg in slowly as well. The two come together, hand to leg. You're sideways. Scoot back again in the chair. Hands to heart center. Sit up tall. Take a breath and twist toward the back. Breathing. Again. One more breath. And then let's bring our body back to sideways facing and take the hands down to the legs and step that front leg to the front. Bring along the back leg. And when you get to the forward facing, come out to the edge of the chair, finding your butterfly again. So come out far enough that your seat bones have adjusted to allow those knees to fall out to the side. Take your hands to mid-thigh. And with the next breath, draw them all the way up to the top of the thigh. Take the elbows in to the sides of the body and back. Your elbows should be pointing toward the back of the chair. Shoulder blades are pushing together. Take a good deep breath. And then drop down. Chin to chest. Breathing. Keeping those elbows pointed toward the back. And then with the next breath, lift the face back up to center. And once there, let the hands slide down and release those shoulders. Breathe. Bring one of your feet to the floor, then the other. Let's step out and let's get up and come around to the back of the chair. Once back here, let's drop our arms down. Let's take them up to the top. Let's float them back down. Again, up, down, and up, and float back down. If you can add your head to that mixture. So take them up take your head up when your arms are up, and take your head down when your arms are down. Or just look out over the front. Feel that good breeze. Up to the top and back down. This time, let's bring our hands back up to the top and put our hands together, clasped but with index fingers pointing up in what we call steeple fingers. Up to the top, feet out just a little bit, lift up to the top and sway over to the side, a good side bend. With the next breath, come back up to the top and let's go the other way. Side bending to the other side. Coming back to the top. Let's separate our arms and come back down. Coming into center, coming up, having a starburst. That's when we come to heart center, push our arms up and sweep out with jazzy hands. Back down to the bottom, to the center, up to the top and down. Coming back into the center and then shaking out. Now, since we're behind the chair, we're going to get in some moonflowers today. Wider stance, keep that wider stance. It can be about as wide as your chair legs or whatever feels comfortable to you. We're going to do some knee bends, so you decide how deeply you bend your knee so that you're not hurting the health of your knee. And we're going to take our hands out to the side if our balance is good. Remember, you can always leave one hand on, or you can just visually use that as a balancing point, the back of the chair. So we're going to come down, and then we're going to come back up. So we're going to do a knee bend and a straighten. As you breathe, knee bend and straighten. Knee bend and straighten. You might hear some popping when you do this, especially at first. Let's do a couple more. So knee bend and straighten. And lastly, knee bend and straighten. Now let's take one of our arms to the top with the fingers spread wide. Opposite where your other arm is, we're going to bring the elbow in to the side of the body when we bend. So knee bend and straighten. Knee bend and straighten. A few more. Straightening. Breathing. You find yourself heating up. This takes some effort. So let's do two more. So here's one. Up to the top, and then here's two. Back up to the top. Now, take that other arm up if you can. Your body's making a 5-pointed start with your head being at the top. Pull in this core, tight as you can. Tuck under the posterior, the tailbone. Good breath, and then both elbows come in as we bend. And back to the top. Knee bend. Straighten. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. A few more. We're using all the major muscle groups in the body with this one. Let's do two more. So down and up, and then down and up. Let's let our hands find the back of the chair. Let's step back and into our downward dog position with parallel feet. Slight knee bends. Push the weight back. Hinge from the hips, lowering that body down once again so that you're looking directly at the floor at a midpoint between the chair legs and your toes. Pushing the weight back, enjoy that stretch. Good breathing. One more. And then one last deep knee bend. And straighten and step up. Coming up to the chair and upright. And one hand on the chair. Let's come around and have a seat. Once again, about mid-chair. I'm going to scoot back just a little bit. We're going to pretend that we have a ball today, but if you actually have one, you can step out and find it underneath and bring it up into your lap. A piece of cloth or a shirt or something can substitute for the ball if you don't have one. I don't have one, so I'm going to just pretend that I do. And I'm going to take that ball, which is represented by my steepled fingers, and I'm going to come out to the front with that ball. And I'm going to twist side to side. So if you forgot your ball, you can do the same. So fingertips together, we're making a ball type shape. And actually it's a pretty good exercise for the hands and the fingers. So rotating and rotating and rotating. Breathing. 2 more. Last one. Okay, we're going to bring that ball back into the lap. We're going to bring the ball to the chest. We're going to take the ball to the top. We're going to take the ball behind our head. Back to the top as we breathe, and then back behind the head. Back to the top as we breathe, and then back down. A few more. Up and down. And up and down. Come back to the top. Bring the ball back into center chest and back into the lap. Take that ball into one hand and take it out to the side, up over the head. Let it fall over the head and out on the side of the ear. So if you don't have a ball with you, put your hand in a claw position like you would have that hand in if you did have a ball. Breathing, hand in claw position. Bring that ball back up to the top and then back down into the lap. And trade that imaginary ball into the other hand. So this hand can relax and this one can hold the ball. Let's come down to the side. Let's go out. Let's come up to the top and over. Hand in claw position, just as it would be if you had a real ball. Using those fingers. And then coming back up to the top and coming back down in the lap. Now, let's drop our arms down, taking out and coming up to the top and into the center. Once again, down and out and up and into the center. And our last time, down, out, up, and to the center. Bringing our hands back down to the tops of the thighs. Scooting our body out to the edge of the chair. We're going to get in a pigeon, a seated pigeon in this case. Crossing one ankle over the other. Remember that if you have knee pain and trying to lift that ankle up to this knee, we're going to do in just a second, to put it back down. You can always do this pose ankle over ankle. But I'm going to bring my ankle up to the top and see how it goes. It feels pretty good. I'm going to put one hand on my knee and one at the ankle. I'm going to grow taller in my seat, and then I'm going to hinge from the hips forward. You breathe as you do this. Now you don't have to hinge very far to feel a pull in these hip flexors. That's what we want. Creating flexibility and mobility in our hip joints for just everyday activities and relaxation in our yoga practice. But our yoga practice prepares us for everyday life and the ability to still do things. Breathe one more breath. And then let's tighten the core and let's lift the body back up. Once we're at the top, let's take the hand that's on the knee and drop it to the chair. Take the hand that's on the ankle and bring it to the knee. Grow taller in our seat as we twist slowly and gently towards the side. And once we're here, let's drop our chin down and breathe. Then bring our chin up to level for a breath. Lift our face to the sky for a breath. Bring the face back down to level and breathe. And then bring face and body and hands slowly together toward the front. One hand on the knee and one on the ankle. Let's take the ankle off of the knee, returning that foot to the floor. Let's go to the other side. So ankle over ankle. Adjust your seat so the hip flexor falls out or opens and their knee falls out. Ankle comes up, and again, ankle over ankle can work if your knee up here is not good. Grow taller and hinge forward. Realizing that sometimes a pose can be very different on one side of your body than the other. This is one of those poses. You may find that way. Breathe, feeling that pull, feeling that stretch. And over time, your hips will loosen more. One more breath. And then tighten that core and use those muscles to lift the body slowly back up to vertical. And once we're at vertical, the hand that's on the knee comes to the chair. The hand that's on the ankle comes to the knee. We grow taller, and slowly we twist in that opposite direction to the side. Sitting up nice and tall and giving the spine a nice little twist. Dropping the chin down and breathing. Lifting the face to level and breathing. And looking upward and breathing. Coming back to level for our last breath on the side. And then bring that body slowly back to the front. Taking the ankle off of the knee, let's come back down to the floor. Let's come back into the middle of the chair with our seat, lining up those ankles underneath the knees and our shoulders back and down. Let's take our arms down and come up to chest height. Palms are up. I'm going to flip the palms down. Then flip your palms up, noticing how it feels different as we have palms up and then palms down, palms up and palms down. Different muscles there as you turn your arms over and then back to the top and then back down. Let's float down. Putting our hands to the thighs, let's roll again back. Crunching, maybe. And then let's roll again front. And then let's try single rolls. So one shoulder back, then the other. Making little circles with the shoulder joints. And then let's try the opposite. So roll one shoulder forward and then the other. As you breathe. And then let's settle. Back at mid-chair. Arms can come down and come up and come into cactus. So in cactus, we're trying to lift our arms. I have the benefit of being able to see the angle of my elbows, but you probably do not. So try to get them up fairly high. Imagine that your elbows are making 90-degree angles. Fingers are spread wide like jazz hands. And just hold here as you breathe. Good deep breaths. Fingers spreading wide. One more breath. And then relax. Hands to legs. Shrug, lift, wiggle, do whatever feels good. Okay. Then let's come back down and come back up into cactus. Fingers spread wide. And this time we're going to pretend that our arms and our hands are like pages of a book. They're in the open position now. We're going to take our hands and arms towards one another. So hands come together first. And now we're closing the book with the elbows second. Now as you close those elbows in, you'll feel the pull in your shoulders, especially if you have tight shoulders. You may not even be able to get your elbows together, but this is a process, remember. Over time it will work. You can stay here and just breathe, or if you like, you can lift this unit of hand and arm up a little bit in the front. And try to breathe a breath or two if you can. And then lower back down and relieve some of that trembling perhaps that you might have felt in your shoulders when you did it. And then with the next breath, let's open the pages of the book. Back out. Breathe. And then let's lower. again, shaking out. And coming back in to the tops of the thighs. Let's come out a little bit in our chair. We're going to get in our cow face pose. It's a nice stretch for the shoulders. So we're going to take this arm down and up, and when it gets to the top, we're going to take the palm back and lay it at the nape of the neck. So your elbow will be in some position similar to mine. Maybe not as straight up, maybe a little out to the side. We're going to take the other arm and we're going to put it out in front like we're saying stop, palm forward, and we're going to turn the arm, twisting it around behind us, and the back of that hand is going to lay in our lower back. So we sit back up if we bent over to make that happen, and we try to take the elbow in toward the back and the hand up toward the middle of the back. Now, the goal of this is to, at some point in our life, get our hands to meet, our fingertips to touch. And this may seem like an impossible task today, but it can be done, and over time you'll get that flexibility in your shoulders. Today I'm having a little bit of stiffness in mine. I'm not having that closeness I usually have. So it does vary from day to day and from year to year and time to time. But practice will help. Breathing, sitting up tall. With the next breath, take that lower hand and gently take it and lower it down toward the lower back before taking it off and returning the hand to the top of the thigh. Now the other hand comes to the top and joins down at the other thigh. Both arms come down, reach out. That feels good, nice stretch. And then into center, and we'll try it on the other side. So now this hand comes down and up, and the hand goes to the nape of the neck. This hand comes out, saying stop. It curls around. Back of the hand comes into the lower back. Sit up if you bent over to make that happen, and pull the elbow in and work that hand up toward the middle of the back. Now you may find that on one side you get much closer with your fingertips. There's less space. Or maybe you can even touch. That's very common. One side of your body is more flexible than the other. Breathe here. And then with the next breath, lower slowly that lower hand and take it off. Bring it back to the hand, or to the knee. And the other hand comes up and down to match. Okay, let's scoot back to about mid-chair. It's time. It's time for Shavasana. Even our little bell tells us that. So in Shavasana, you know that we relax in the way that is most comfortable to us. So for me, I'm just going to sit up straight because I like that. But some people like to come back in the chair, spread their legs a little wider, breathe. So you choose a position that suits you and your nature. Let your hands rest on your thighs. Close your eyes and continue those good deep breaths. Feel really good about what you've accomplished today, how you've relaxed your mind, how you've calmed it, how you've relaxed your body as well. Breathe good breaths. Let the shoulders relax. Listen to the birds. And breathe good air. I'll let you know when it's time to come back. With your next breath, allow your chin to fall downward toward the chest, continuing to breathe. And with the next breath, lift the face back up to center. Open the eyes. Take the face upward toward the sky and breathe here. One more, letting those shoulders relax. And then let's bring our face once again to center. Let's tilt our head to the side. Back to the top. Let's tilt our head to the other side. And back to the top. Let's put our palms down on the tops of our thighs. And let's drop our chin downward. Breathing. And then roll the head over toward one shoulder very slowly. Letting the head roll back through center. Slowly toward the other shoulder. And then back to center. Letting our head act like a pendulum, but a slow one. It stretches our head side to side. Stretches our neck. You may hear some crackling when you do this, especially at first. But over time that will lessen. Now let your chin find the center chest and rest there for a breath or two. And then let's bring our face back up to center. Let's end today with 3 good deep breaths and arm movements to go with it. Down with the arms, stretch out, come up to the top, and into the center. Once again, down, out and up, and in. Our last time, down. Stretch out and up and come into heart center. Namaste. Thank you so much for being with me today. Hope to see you soon.